So it's been about a week, a little over a week, since I don't know, I want to say that we failed to get Siri's feet done. Failed isn't the right word. She wasn't ready, and that's okay. So today we are back in the 16 by 16 pen, and I hope you realize, like, in between these times that she and I are sharing, she's out on acreage and she's with her kids and running around. She's rarely in. Just when she comes in for me to give them some Timothy and alfalfa pellets, and also to work with her in the pen. So we're probably 7 weeks, I want to say 7 to 8 weeks into this journey of, haltering and getting prepared for feet trims. And I've decided to go with a little bit different of a strategy. Siri is allowing me to put the halter kind of like around her neck and the lead rope over her back. And so instead of putting it on her face and trying to control her face, I would like for us to do this where I don't actually have to control her. Like, I have the least modicum of control at all. And so the lead rope is just kind of hanging around her neck, and I am sitting on a mounting block, and she's just kind of nosing around on the ground, and I'm just sort of gently, if she allows me, just gently petting under her belly, just gently starting to touch her legs and seeing if she will, accept touch. I'm taking the approach of backing up before going forward. They all say you have to learn to crawl before you walk and then before you run. So we're going back probably to, that's her snorting, going backwards a little bit to crawling, because my commitment is, again, we're going to get her feet done safely and effectively and as easily as possible. But if we have to back off and slow down, and I pushed her too much, thinking that the sedation would help her calm down enough so she'd be okay with her legs getting picked up, well, I learned a lesson, right? So now I'm backing up to, sitting on the mounting block at a height that's comfortable for her, that doesn't feel either confrontational or disrupting to her. And I'm just letting her be and be calm. And sometimes I'll just gently reach out and just touch her side or touch her leg and see if she'll allow me to. And I know that I could get this done a lot faster if I used a little bit more force or insistentness. But even though in the short run my goal is feet, in the long run my real goal is her ability to feel as free as possible and choose to collaborate. So we stay safe, nobody gets hurt, and we'll eventually, get to getting her feet done in a way that's as synergistic with her. Just having a really fabulous conversation with somebody I deeply, deeply respect, who understands energy at a very, very profound level. And for a while, I've been using the words quantum because that's the words that we're used to using right now. But the space that I actually enter into, it's there. The within and the without are the same. There is no separation. There is no difference. And so what I keep learning from Siri is to be as much a part of her field as anything. Because we're part of the same unified field. Like, there isn't a within, without. It's happening in simultaneity, all around, within, without. The things that we perceive of within or without, those aren't even the terms. When you start getting into the deep Tao, there is no inner or outer. There's a unification. And so she's just, in so many ways, helping remind me of it's hard to say reconnection with, right? Because like when you really start to get into the specific semantics, you start to realize like, wow, it's almost to the point where there is nothing to say about it. It's like a fish being in water. The fish doesn't sit there and go, I'm in water. Water doesn't go, hey, there's a fish in my water. There's a complete synergy. And until that fish is pulled out of water, that's what's creating that separation. But before that, even though they're individuations, they're still oneness. And so it was really, really fascinating to have this beautiful conversation, because that is what I truly experience a lot of the time. There is no out, there is no in. Like it's a sense of oneness with these beings. And so it's fascinating to speak to someone who understands that as well, and that could call me out on it, when I find myself doing that. And then being here with Siri, it's like she is so one with it that she feels any sense of me that's outside of it. And I feel like that's what she's training me to learn and to remember, like how to have no separation. There's not even a reaching for her and her leg. And now she's over here where she's moved over closer towards me. So the more I harmonize with the field that we're both in, that's a unified field, the less threat, the less resistance, the less annoyance, I would say, she has. And it's just really interesting, because I think as horse people, we're taught all of these things, and we're the human, they're the horse. Yeah, I get that on one level, but at the essence level, that actually isn't the way that it is. And as she's snorting away and blowing all that, she's like, blow out all that nonsense that you people think that you're separate from your horses. You're not. And as I drop into my unified sense, Pooh Bear walks right over. And he's like, we're one. And I say, yeah, we're one. So it's an interesting thing, because we as humans, have spent so much time educating ourselves to our intellects. And through that indoctrinated process, we have really separated ourselves from that unified field of oneness. And it's fascinating because that unified field of oneness is actually pretty peaceful. I mean, I would say it's about 98% peaceful, 2% non-peaceful, but we flipped it in our intellects. We're about 2% peaceful and 98% not peaceful. If you really take a look at how we've separated ourselves from the planet and the animal kingdoms, and how we do what we do on a daily basis. So it's pretty eye-opening, heart-opening, soul essence-opening to realize and recognize this, and to be part of this field of oneness and this co-creation that comes from source essence that runs through all of us, runs through everything, that we are honestly already living in heaven on Mother Earth. That's our reality if we choose it. That is the reality if we choose it. Thanks, Siri.